The songs in Murundah are some of the greatest songs of Aboriginal protest music in Australia, and they sing songs of the hardship, of the strength and resilience of Aboriginal people. They are what we often call the sort of hidden top 40 in Australia, in that whilst they are incredibly popular amongst Aboriginal people in Australia, they haven't reached a mainstream audience until more recently. And so I heard about it because I was very involved in Aboriginal storytelling and Aboriginal films in Australia. And a lot of these songs were the soundtracks to those films. So I sort of came in that way. And now I think they're reaching much bigger audiences in Australia. We filmed for 3 years, which meant, of course, we would have a lot of material in the end. I think we had about 250 hours of material, but a lot of these were multiple camera angles for the live performances. So the first thing we did when we were looking at the edit was, which song do we want to use at which point in the tour? Because this was a long journey at multiple locations, but with very different audiences. So very conservative white audiences, very proud black audiences, and then the sort of London audience, which was very far removed, and obviously the sort of heart of the colonisation movement. So we really looked at starting the story with the Australian audiences in the cities, particularly because this was a period of very conservative rule. So looking at the sort of non-Indigenous audience in Australia, and that's who the Black Armband initially wanted to reach. And then we wanted to tell the story of returning to England, which is where a lot of the torment began. And the Black Armband arrived on the shores of the Thames, and it's exactly where the First Fleet set out from. So there was a beautiful symmetry there. And we decided to look at the structure of the edit so that we finished with the community tour, which is where the heart and soul of this music is. This is the people whose story these songs sing about. One of my favourite sequences in the film is a moment which captures the real community of Aboriginal Australia. It was in a place called Fitzroy Crossing, which is in the Kimberleys in Western Australia. And it is a moment where there is a transition from the elder singers, who are 50 to 60 years old and have been singing these songs for 40 years, to the younger singers. And the younger singers, you can tell there is a moment where they feel like the baton has been passed to them, and it is now their turn to sing these songs and keep these songs alive. And there was a very beautiful ceremony which brought together all of the artists with all of the local Aboriginal people, and it was a smoking ceremony. And you really can tell that the younger people suddenly realise that if they don't keep singing these songs will disappear, and they take that on and they continue the journey.